Miranda, just back to where this leaves the policy and political landscape. You know, we've touched on Scott Morrison. What a great campaign he ran. He now enters the pantheon of the great Liberal election winners. For Labor, though, and a lot of this campaign was about Labor, where does it leave their policy mix and their leadership? Which way should they go? What do you think?
Well, look, the election was an absolute rejection of their policies. They had a really radical change agenda. It was a wealth redistribution, high tax agenda. And look, it was rejected by the people who Scott Morrison purported to speak for. I was with him on the campaign bus for a few days, and I saw him go to a couple of sort of blue-collar work sites, one in Fremantle, you saw in Gladstone, and the workers there were not warm towards him. They were very cool. I interviewed a couple of them, and they said they didn't like him. They don't like union organisers coming in and geeing the blokes up, is the way it was described to me. They don't trust him, and they weren't going to vote for him. And I said, well, who will you vote for? And they sort of look a bit sheepish and then say, oh, maybe Clive Palmer. But anyway, it was a rejection of Labor by the working class, and you saw that in all the outer ring suburbs, the sort of tradies, the high-vis vests, the people who are now ScoMo's battlers, you could call them, just regular, everyday Australians with aspirations and mortgages and negative gearing and, retirees, all the people that Scott Morrison spoke to and elucidated the dangers of the radical agenda that Labor was putting forward. And look, it resonated. And I think Labor has to really rethink. It's moved so far to the left that perhaps in trying to save its left flank from the Greens, but it has moved so radically left that it's losing the people. And on climate change in particular, I think Australians feel, yes, something should be done, but not, especially up in Queensland, especially in a seat like Capricornia, where Adani was a big factor. People in resource-rich states are worried about jobs. So they see Scott Morrison neutralise that issue. He said, we are doing something about climate change, but not at the expense of your job.